which are endemic in my community and of interest to me. I reached out to Professor Yi, the chair of the MPH program, who also gave me insights into the program and encouraged me to apply. The next question, did you take the GRE? Her answer was, I did not take the GRE because I found out it was not a requirement by any of the schools I was interested in. The next question, why did you choose AB University over the others? So her answer was, AB University School of Public Health is the #1 school of public health worldwide. It has a uniquely collaborative and interdisciplinary program with a customizable curriculum that allows me to tailor the program to my career goals. This will allow me to blend courses in epidemiology, biostatistics, health policy and management to be able to solve the intricate health problems in the mining communities of ZZZ and Ghana as a whole. Of particular importance to me is the global perspective of the program with research focused on diseases of public health importance in Africa, including tuberculosis and malaria, which are endemic in the mining communities of ZZZ where I work. This will give me a better understanding and hands-on approach to solving these problems when I return to Ghana. The next question, who is sponsoring you? So her answer was, I have received the prestigious AB Dean's Scholarship, which covers 40% of my tuition. The remaining cost, including living expenses, will be covered by AK Company, my current employer's partners, who I also work for as a consultant medical doctor. This sponsorship acknowledges the pivotal role I played in reducing occupational injuries on site by 80% and my commitment to improving health in the local communities through health promotion programs and interventions, a shared commitment that aligns with their goals. After completing my program, I will return to head the public health unit at my organization. This is a facility that is being constructed and financed by M&M Company as part of their commitment to improving occupational health and fulfilling their corporate social responsibility to the local mining communities. The next question, what is your current job? So the answer that she submitted to me was, I am a medical doctor at MMM Hospital where I provide primary health services to the mining workforce, their dependents and the entire community. I provide occupation. Hi guys, I'm really glad that you have decided to join this live stream. So if you are part of my Telegram page, every week I select some students that I interview for free. And so this week I have a few students that I'm going to interview. I'm going to pretend to be the visa officer, okay? And so the live chat will also be on the left side. And so if you have any question, you can always send in your questions. So I have a few students. Let's see how it goes, okay? All right. Also, before we start, please do all to share this live with your friends. Okay, this is very important. Share it with them so that they can also join the live. All right. Thank you. So on my screen, I have a few students. Dennis. So some of you just joined, and that is always difficult. Like when you join late, it doesn't help. Like you always yes. Sharon, are you here? Is Sharon here? What about Gloria? Hello? Gloria is here. Okay, who else is here? Who else is here? Is it only Gloria? Nimat, you said you couldn't join the live. I think all you had to do was to click on the link and then wait a little bit because I'll get a notification that you are trying to join. Then I will add you to it. Okay, that is really straightforward. Try it again and see. Adibowale says she wants the Telegram link. The Telegram link is under the description of every video that I've posted, so you can check it out there. So on this note, I'll just go ahead and then interview Gloria. Okay, Gloria. So let's begin, right? Are you ready, Gloria? Okay, cool. So what is the purpose of your trip? Okay, and why do you want to study that program? How did you hear about the school? What is your current job? When did you finish your master's degree? Okay. And how many schools did you and how many schools did you apply to? Okay. And why do you want to have your PhD in the US? Okay. I can see you've been offered a GA. How did you get a GA? Okay, so what do you think you did that made you deserve the assistantship? Because you're not the only person who applied for assistantship, right? So what made you different from the others? Okay. Have you traveled outside your home country before? And do you know anyone in the US? Where does he stay? And what does he do in Philadelphia? Okay. And what are your plans after your studies? So why do you think I should give you the visa? Uh, Yeah, why do you think I should give you the visa? Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I think these are the questions that I had for you. To be honest with you, you have a good funding, and it should be easy for you to get your visa approved. But I am not really convinced with your answers. Um, because if I ask you, why should I give you the visa? This is not really like a common question. But if I ask you, like in an interview, why should I give you the visa? And then you are there without being able to answer the question, it means you don't actually deserve the visa. What you have to understand is that you are trying to get the visa to study in the US, and then after you study, you are going to learn, certain skills which are important to your career, or which are going to help you solve a problem in your country. So if you tell me, like when I asked you what are your plans after your studies, you told me at the end of your program you want to go back to Kenya to work in the healthcare sector. That is not that you've not said anything. Like, what exactly are you going to do? What are you are going to do a PhD, and a PhD you are expected to acquire a lot of advanced skills. So how exactly are you going to use those skills to help the healthcare sector in Kenya? That is the kind of answer that you are supposed to give to show that you are a legitimate student. You cannot just say I'm going back and I want to work in the healthcare. No, that's not a good answer. That's too short, and that is it lacks a lot of details. When I asked you, do you know anyone in the US, you could have just tell me where your uncle is without just say I have an uncle who lives in Philadelphia, rather than me asking you where he lives and all of that. Whenever you ask a question, if possible, try to say everything that you need to say. When I asked you, how did you get a scholarship, you said just give me a second. Someone is trying to join. This is what I was trying to avoid. Florence, can you hear me? Okay. Are you the same as Sophia or something? Because okay, cool. Just how do you? All right. Okay, cool. All right. Back to you, Gloria. So getting an assistantship is not a small feat. You always have to do something right for you to get an assistantship. And so when you're asked how did you get assistantship, you don't start by saying you saw on the school's website that they offer scholarship, and so when you applied, you got opportunity to do an interview. You could have even started with the interview thing, because yes, you did an interview, and the department, the way you can answer is the fact that the department saw so that you have a good background, and you can contribute a lot to the department's research and academics and stuff like teaching and research or something. That is how you answer the question. So the visa officer has to know that you did something, or you have something, you have some potential, you have some talent, which is why when the department interviewed you, felt you deserve to be given the assistantship. That's how you answer the question. So you I know you've not done your masters, you did your just bachelor's degree. There's nothing wrong with it. Some schools in the US, the way it works is that they allow you to move from bachelor's degree to PhD, but the PhD is such a way that you get opportunity to earn a master's degree before you get your PhD, so it's just the same thing. right? So you should be able to, you know, I'm getting feedback from. Yeah, so you should be able to express yourself very well. Why you actually deserve the visa, sorry, why you actually deserve the assistantship. Okay, maybe, I mean, I don't know if you have any publication, maybe because of your publication. If not your publication, something else, maybe you submit, maybe you had a good GPA and the department saw that you have a good GPA, and all of these things, contributed to the department deciding to give you an assistantship. It could also be your GRE scores. Maybe that is why the department decided to give you, the so you should have good reasons to give when you are asked how you got the assistantship. Normally, when you have a full scholarship, the visa officer is not really interested in a lot of things. They are mainly interested in how you got the assistantship, because the assistantship kind of covers everything. So that is, you have to work on all those things. Okay, and you said when I asked you why the US, you said it's because the course you want to offer is not offered in your country. Fine, that can be a reason, but ideally, if you can also talk about maybe a course in your country that is similar to it, even though it is not as good as that one, but maybe like similar course or something, and then you try to point out the differences. Your answer was just more like a one-line answer, and it's not convincing enough. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, you have to appear like somebody who is actually coming to do a PhD, like, like you are smart and you are, good enough to do your PhD here. Okay, because the interview is not about, it's not just about your funding, it's also about you showing that you are a good student, you are a legitimate student, and you deserve to study in the US. And about your plans too, like I've been saying, you have to make sure you have clear plans. You know exactly what you are coming to do back home, and you know the kind of position that you want to uh that you are targeting at the end of your program. You have to be clear on the exact things that the PhD program will teach you, which you intend to implement when you go back to your home country. Okay, so these are things that you should work on. Okay, do you have any question for me? Okay, yeah, I think I remember one more thing. When I asked you how did you hear about this university, you said it's the best university, but you failed to tell me exactly why it is. I don't know whether you said it's one of the best universities or something, but you didn't tell me why it is one of the best universities. You should be able to tell me exactly what is about that university that makes it among the best. You don't just say it's one of the best universities and then just leave it like that. No. Okay, you started well by saying how you heard about the school and all of that, but in your research, you should be able to tell me what about the school that makes it one of the best. Okay, that will make it a good answer. Okay, yeah, all right. So I guess this is where I will end it with you. Okay, the next. Yeah, no problem. I wish you the best. Okay, once you work on these things, I mean, when you have full funding, you shouldn't really struggle. It should be a straightforward interview for you. Okay, all right. Um, the next person I have is Ifia. Ifia, are you ready? Florence, right? Okay, so are you ready? Okay. Tell me about your program. Uh, please, hold on for me. Please hold on for me. It looks like no one heard what Gloria said. That's strange. That is the thing about. Okay, hold on. Gloria, are you there? Okay, so it looks like no one heard what he said. Okay, so what I am going to do now is, do you want to do it again? Okay. Um, Lawrence, there is a good chance they cannot hear you as well. So hold on, let me try to see what is going on with the microphone. Your microphone. Oh, okay. I think I see what is going on. All right. I think this should work right now. Okay. Yeah. Guys, please let me know if you can hear if you can hear Florence. Florence, so you can tell me about your program now.
Okay, so my program is a Masters in Business Administration and Management, which is a 42 credits course. It's made up of 13 courses, and that is 10 core and 3 electives, with 3 elective courses. And at the end, I would have a project work, which will make it 14.
Why do you want to study business management?
Okay, so I will be studying business. I want to study business management because and specialize in human resource management because I have seen how staff who suffer accidents in high pressure environments are inadequately supported. So I want to gain this in-depth knowledge and skills to be able to provide and implement policies that will ensure compassionate treatment for employees, especially those who face unforeseen challenges. And also sorry, my goal is to be an advocate for better safety standard and also provide robust support system for employees in all industries.
What do you do now?
I am an assistant human resource management with the men's logistics, which is my uncle's company, and I decided to work with my uncle as a merit for sponsoring me through my undergraduate. Yeah,
So
my
is
duties in
so is your uncle the one sponsoring your master's degree as well?
no please, my two brothers and myself.
So
So my first
why didn't your two brothers sponsor your bachelor's degree education?
my two brothers didn't sponsor my undergraduate because at that time they were not that financially stable
Okay.
because we lost our parents at an early stage, and there's my uncle who took me in to take care of me after the loss
So
of my parents.
so what do your brothers do now? What is their job?
Okay, so the first one works with the Ministry of Transport as the assistant procurement officer, and he has his own transport agency, which he has a total of 30 buses, which runs within the regions of Ghana.
Okay.
He is married to a physician. He's married to a physician who works at the Accra Regional Hospital and has a child who is 5 years old. So he has a net income of 400,000 Ghana cedis. And my second brother also works with an American company which is called the Digital Ocean. He is a software
Are they
engineer.
your blood brothers? Are you from the same
Yes,
biological parent? Okay. And
yes,
how
please.
many
Yeah,
schools do you
from
apply to?
I applied to 3 schools: Avila University, Texas A&M University, and Hellenic American University. And I decided to choose Hellenic American University because because of a professor, Sonny Evita, who is ready to mentor me because her project focus aligns perfectly with my career goals. Also, I chose Hellenic American University because though I'll be having after the course, I'll be having my master's in business administration, but I would be able to get an additional 4 certificates, which is certificates in digital marketing, certificates in people management, certificates in management information system, and also certificates in operational excellence, which comes with no cost. So
So
that's
can't you offer this program in your home country?
okay. So I decided to offer this program in the United States because the United States is a pioneer of scientific management. And the foundational works of Frederick Winslow Taylor, being the father of scientific management, has had a lasting impact of sorry, has had a lasting impact on management practices globally. So I want to
Can you
therefore
tell
I want
me
to
can you tell me
explore.
about his works?
Okay, so he provided the principles and theories for scientific management. And with these principles aligns perfectly with mine. specialization, which is in the human resource management, which talks about how to care for employees, and in an organization. Example, employees who suffer accidents, how to the policies to be done to be able to take care of them. But I realized that in our country, we do not have enough of these policies that takes care of these employees when they suffer accidents, from unknown accidents and all that in our professional world. So I have an example of a mate who had an accident in the company he works with, and his legs has been amputated. And due to this,
Which countries
the
have you
company
traveled
just
to?
I've not had any reason to travel out of my country. So, but
Okay.
I've been to all the regions in Ghana.
Okay. And do you know anyone in the US?
No, please, as I know, I know no one in the US.
Did you apply to other countries aside the US?
No, please, I didn't apply to other countries. As I said, I want to study in the US because it is the pioneer of scientific management.
Okay. And what are your plans after your studies?
So, right after my studies, I would come back to my country to probably take up a higher position. Also, um, I spoke to some couple of people at the Ghana Labour Commission, which I would love to work with their board to provide and implement these policies. And they gave me the option that to be able to be part of their board, the minimum requirement is to have a master's degree. So I would come back to my country, start this project with the Labour Commission
So, what do you think you can contribute to the Labor Commission? What exactly?
to um, to provide and implement policies
Uh,
that will.
Please, give me a second, okay? Let me add somebody. Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Can you hear me? All right, Florence, go ahead. Okay, cool. Florence, go ahead.
Okay, so
So
I
I
would.
asked you, what are your plans after your studies? Can you take it again?
So you asked what I would do to contribute to the Labour
Yeah,
Commission.
yeah.
So I would help them to provide and implement policies in their health sector, to help employees who suffer accidents and all that to be um to sorry employees who suffer these accidents to provide a better treatment for them, in order for them not to be home without any proper care, and
So
with providing this.
are you saying these people are currently neglected?
I would say most of them
How
are
do you know
neglected
that?
after,
How do you know that?
because as I said earlier, that I have a mate who had his leg amputated, and after paying 2 months of his hospital bills, he was laid off from work too. And this is a married man with children. His wife is not really financially stable, and his children are now on the streets selling and all that. So with this, I had to gather some mates for us to set up a fund for him, which we contribute every month to give to him to be able to take care of his family. And not only that, I also did some few research in some companies, and I realized it's the same there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I would say something, I would say generally your answers, like you are able to express yourself very well, and you are clear on what exactly you want to come, home to do. Like you have a clear reason, like you have identified a problem, and you want to, learn the skills to be able to go back and solve, those problems. So for me, it makes sense to me. About who is sponsoring you. You had a scholarship of 10K. You had a deficit of, is it 26K? And
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and the fact that you said your brothers are sponsoring you, and I mean there is a good reason why they are now able to sponsor you, because of the fact that before, like when you were doing your bachelor's degree, um they were too young to make enough to take care of you and all of that. So yeah, for me, I feel like, yeah, you can express yourself very well, and that is very, very important. You know, I mean, I couldn't really see you looking straight, but it's also not your fault, because it's difficult to look directly into the camera and all of that. But generally, I feel like, yeah, when you get to like when you go for your interview, I think you look good and you should be fine. I think you are in good
Okay.
shape, actually. Yeah. So I wish you the best. Okay.
Okay. But please, I want to ask a question.
Mm.
So, during my last interview, that was 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
I was denied.
you
I
went.
was denied.
Okay. Go on.
I was denied based on my I-20. I think it's been expired, and it was still reflecting that it's active. So the visa officer tried updating her system to see if it's still going to show, but there was nothing showing. So she denied me based on that and asked me to get a new DS-160 and try and get a date and come back. So I give that reason when I go for my next interview that I was denied based on my iTunes and mismatch in my service ID and all that.
So what exactly happened? Is it that you submitted a DX1C form and then you updated it without updating it in the appointment page?
No,
Or
it's okay. It's about my service.
okay, your service number. You you you
Yes,
cha-
on
you
the
change you change
iTunes.
okay.
I deferred.
Okay. So when you
Deferred.
deferred,
Yes,
you didn't request for a new I-20 from the school.
I requested for a new I-20,
Okay.
and the service ID on the new I-20 was different from the old one.
Okay.
So I think I realized that the night before the interview, and I sent them a mail thinking it would reflect. But when I went for the interview, it couldn't reflect. So she was thinking maybe
It's a
I'm
forged
not
I-20.
it is a forged I-20.
Mm,
So I tried explaining to her, and I gave her the old I-20 to check, and she was like, "It's active there, but it's not reflecting on the new service ID."
mm,
So
I
I should
see.
work on that. Yes.
Yeah, I think you should be fine. I am thinking, yeah, when you go, you can, the visa officers, they will always leave a note at the end of the interview for the next person to see. So I mean, it's probably clear enough that this is the kind of note that was left, in your case. And so you can give that reason that there was an issue with your I-20 when you came for your previous interview. And I feel like you are in good shape. And probably the other visa officer wanted to give you the visa, but these things, the way they are, by law, if something is not right, then they will just deny you the visa. So that's how it works. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, I think you look good and you should be fine. Okay, I wish you the best.
Okay.
Mm,
Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. Any other question?
No, please. Okay.
Okay, all right. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Who is on the line? Is Gloria there? Gloria, are you there? Okay. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, this is why I wanted you guys to join before I started the live, so that I will set up all these things. It's a bit complicated, actually. Not too difficult, but yeah, I mean, um, I'm trying to find your name, because I think I know why they couldn't hear you. So I want to work on that. I want to change it quickly. Yeah. Hello. Oh. Uh, yeah, guys, can you hear? Uh, um, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Ah, yeah. Gloria, are you there? I think this should work. Okay, guys, can you hear Gloria? You can't hear her? Okay. Yeah, it's the way I assign the names. It's not so straightforward, like how to explain this thing. That's why. Okay, let me see. Mhm. I should be able to. Yeah, I just don't know why it's not. I don't know why. What about Sharon? Sharon, are you there? Sharon? Okay. Gloria, please hold on for me, okay? Let me look at Sharon and see. Yeah, can you guys hear Sharon? Can you hear Sharon? Lawrence, can you hear Sharon? Okay. Sharon, that's cool. All right, Gloria, I would have to figure out how to do this, okay? Just bear with me. So, Sharon, let me look at your finances. Sharon. Oh, Sharon, you were not meant to be interviewed today. I told you there is a chance that I will not interview you, and like there is a good chance that I may not be able to interview you because there were other people ahead of you. But so I don't have anything about you. So I'll just go ahead and ask you questions and see the way you answer them. Okay. All right. Um, where are you going? Okay. What is your study plan? Wh- Why do you want to study this program? Sharon, please hold on. They said they can't hear. They can't hear Sharon. Oh man. Uh, hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. I wish it was easy for you guys to join at the beginning. Okay. Okay, I think I've seen. Yeah, they should be able to hear Sharon now. Yeah, and where is I think I've corrected everything right now. Yeah, I think everything should work now. Yeah, Sharon. So let's start all over again because I think they can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. So I asked you where are you going?
I am going to Clark University to pursue Masters in Management Science with a concentration in Business Analytics.
Why do you want to study management science?
I want to study management science with a concentration in business analytics because business analytics is becoming a new wave in almost all organizations now, and the organization I'm working on, it's not an exemption. You'll find that most of the companies nowadays make decision based on data and not based on assumptions. So therefore, I want to do this course so that can give me the skills and knowledge that can help me in helping companies to make decisions that are data-based and application of analytical techniques.
Okay. Please hold on. Somebody says they can't hear you. That's strange. That's still strange to me. They can't hear you. Strange. Uh, yeah, I'm sure the next time we will improve all of this. And when you're starting something, it's always challenging at the beginning. But it's strange that they can't hear you. Please, can you hear Sharon? Florence, can you hear Sharon?
I can hear her.
You can hear her. Okay. Okay, they can actually hear you. Yeah, they can actually hear you because that was because I think I corrected everything. All right, cool. So
Okay.
Florence, yeah. So how did you hear about the school?
So I heard about Clark University during my program search, where I was searching on what of the schools which matches with the program that I wanted to study. I came up, then Clark University pops out, and I went ahead and researched more on it on their website on Clark U, and that's how I got to learn about Clark University.
Okay. And what did you find out in your research?
In my research at Clark University, I found out about the program and the units that they're actually offering. They matches with my goals, because you'll find that the business analytics program at Clark University, it's more of management, of which I really wanted to. You'll find that other universities have those programs that have a lot of data related, but mine was basically on management statistics, which Clark University is offering. Another thing I found out about Clark University is that they actually have a lot of events, clubs, and social events that were very attractive to me. One of them is they have a craft studio, which was much attractive to me because I'm sure when I'm not apart from classroom studies, I'll have an opportunity to also get to go to the studio, do some ceramics and such other. I found out that also Clark University have over 80 nationality, different people from over
Tell me
80
about your
countries,
academic background.
and that was
Tell me about your academic background.
so I've done a bachelor's in human resource management from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
Okay. And what is your current job?
My current job, I work as a human resource officer at Equity Bank Kenya.
Okay. And why do you want to study management science in the US?
Yes.
I mean, why do you want to study management science in the US? You could study it in your home country, right?
Sure. The reason why I want to study business management science and specifically business analytics in the US is because business analytics is technologically based, and you'll find that university is one of the countries tech, which are technologically advanced. Therefore, I'm very confident that I'll have the skills and competencies that I require in order, that I'm confident that the skills and competencies that I will get from studying in the US will be very efficient, and I will tap into my country's development. The other thing is because in my country, at the moment, business analytics is very highly valued. And for me, going to study in the US, it will create a competitive edge or a unique edge whereby I'll have more value in the market when I come back with a master's
Did you
from
get any scholarship?
United States. Yes, I got scholarship from Clark University, which is catering for 25% of my tuition fee.
Okay, and how are you going to finance the deficit?
To finance the deficit, I've taken a loan from Empower Financing, which will be catering for all my other school expenses.
How will you repay the loan?
I'll be repaying the loan in two phases. One is the interest phase where I'll be repaying the interest using my savings while I'll be at school. On the other on the principal amount, it is spread for a period of 10 years, and I'll repay that after my graduation. That is when I come back to my home country and get a job as a as a data or human resource analyst. Therefore, I'll be able to repay the loan within a period of 10 years.
How did you say you will be paying the interest? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it well.
Or I'll be paying the interest using my personal savings.
And how much do you have in your personal savings?
I have $10,000 in my personal savings, which will be catering for my interest while I'll be at school.
Okay, and have you traveled outside the US?
No, I've outside of it. After okay, I've never traveled outside the country because I've never had a reason to.
Okay, but how about knowing someone in the US?
I do not know anyone in the US.
And did you apply to other countries?
No, I did not apply to other countries. I only applied to the US.
Okay, and what are your plans after your studies?
After my studies, my plan I have two my plan I've scaled them into two. So my short term plan is to come back to my country and get a position as a human resource analyst at Equity Group Foundation, where I'm currently working. After that, after in the long run, I want to have my own consultancy where I'll be leading an analytical team and probably have yeah, where I'll be leading an analytical team to help other organizations also in making data-driven decision with the skills and knowledge that I will acquire from this program,
Okay,
especially on people investments. Because many companies in my country at the moment, you'll find that companies do not really care much about people, and now this is my time to now guide them on how to maximize on people investments in a company for a company to succeed.
okay. I have a few comments for you.
Okay.
Um, I mean, overall, I think you were very good. You know, you knew about why you want to study the program and all of that. A little confusion is on one hand, it's like you want to focus on management. On the other hand, it's like you are trying to focus on data. And I'm not too sure exactly what exactly management science is. I don't know if it's maybe
It
a,
is okay.
okay. Go on.
It is, you say, like in manage, it's okay. Manage, it's a mixture of management and data, whereby managers make decision based on data. For me, is to
Mm,
be able to synthesize, to help managers synthesize data into information that they can that they can use in making decisions. So mine is to get that data, be able to put that data in a way that managers can understand, then they make decision based on that.
okay.
That's why
You
it's a combination.
okay? You
Yeah.
currently work as a human resource person. Uh,
Yes.
the human resource work you do, is it directly related to what you are going to study?
Yes, it is. It is related, though I'm not currently working in the department, but it's related.
What do you mean by you are not currently working in the department? What do you currently do?
I'm not working in the HR analytics department. I'm working as a human resource officer.
Okay, okay, I get the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So how about when you are asked why you want to study the program, how about you start with what you do now and then connect it
Okay.
to what you wanna come back to do? How about that? Like maybe I currently work as this and I want to pursue this degree to learn these skills so that when I return, then you can talk about the importance of data in making decisions and all of those things. And so, that is a
Yeah.
department that you wanna. I don't know. I'm just thinking, something like that. Um, about how you are going to fund your studies. You you say you are using a loan, but then you don't. You didn't mention the interest rates. What the interest rate is. You didn't mention how much the interest will be for the duration of your program, so that at least we know that your savings can actually is like it's actually more than the interest you are going to pay over the 2-year period. I am thinking having that helps a lot, like knowing what the interest rate is and calculating how much interest you are supposed to pay for the duration of your program. And then also, you didn't tell me about the job salary that you are going to, like, after the program, the kind of salary you're targeting, and how much you're going to use from your salary to pay off the principal. I didn't hear all of that. I think having a clear plan in terms of the job you want to do, how much the average salary is, and how much, so that you can know how much you're going to earn, and then know how much you're going to put into payment of the principal over the 10-year period. I think all of this makes your answer more comprehensive and more understanding. What do you think about that? Hello? Hello? Hmm. I guess it's the network. So yeah, this is what I wanted to tell her. I'm sure she can play it back. And yeah, hello.
Yes. Hello, I can hear you.
Who is this? Sharon?
Sharon, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Um,
I was commenting on your loan repayments, because you say
yeah.
you are using Empower. So my point is that when you were giving the answer, you didn't tell me what the interest rate is and how much interest will be accumulated over the period of your studies, so that you can tell the visa officer how much you have in your savings, and the fact that you'll be able to. uh Hold on, somebody, I just saw a comment, and somebody says Shy is so disrespectful. People in the meeting not showing their cameras. I don't know whether he meant I am disrespectful, or the fact that you guys are not showing your faces. So whoever you are, the whole point is that I don't, I tell students, if they want to show their faces, fine. If not, then that's also fine, because not everyone wants the world to know they are preparing for their visa interview. That's the whole point. And so I am okay with people not showing their faces. There is nothing wrong with it. That's why I kind of put names over there, so that you can see who I'm talking to. But I don't think the faces make any difference. Though the most important thing is the kind of answers they are giving, and the kind of comment I am giving. I think that is what really matters. Okay, so please don't take this personal. It's just not serious like that. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, you should know how much the interest rates, and how much interest will be accumulated over the period, to compare with your savings, to make sure you actually have enough savings to take care of all the interest, right? And also, Sharon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I am
Okay.
listening.
Okay. And also, you should know exactly how much people earn in the position you are targeting, so that you know exactly how much you are expected to earn every year, and be clear on how much of that salary you are going to use to pay the principal over the 10-year period. You need to know how much, like, exactly. When the visa officer hears figures like that, he or she knows that, okay, you've actually done your calculation, and you know how much you should pay every month after your program, and even during your program, and all of that kind of thing. So I think that is very important for you too. Okay, you should know the kind of pay you are going to get at the end of your, like, when you start your new job. Okay, does that make
Okay,
sense? Yeah.
that
So
makes sense.
yeah.
So,
So
okay.
yeah. Go on.
So, a question.
Yeah.
So, when the officer ask me how I'm going to repay the loan, I should be able to say, like, the whole the whole like how much I expect to be paid,
Yeah, your salary.
how much
You should
interest.
so you should talk
Even if they
about.
have not asked,
Mm, I'm listening.
even if they have not asked, I should just say it.
Well, so the way the visa interview works is that, the answers that you provided to me, okay, there are so many things that you can actually add to your answers. But then sometimes it depends on, we are all different people. Every individual is
Yeah.
different and we prefer different things. There are some people they want you to stick to what you've been asked. There are some people to, when they ask you the question, they're already typing something. And so you have that room to still say certain things. Like if you're asked, why do you want to study the program? Okay, you can say maybe I currently work as this and I want to study this program to learn these skills to be able to, so that I can do whatever, or maybe there is a problem in my community, so I want to learn this skill so that I can solve this problem or something, you know. You can give an answer like that, but then if there is still time and then the visa officer, is kind of typing something and wants you to continue, you can still bring in other things, if you want. So what I am saying is that if you ask about who is sponsoring you, you can tell the visa officer, your like yeah, the fact that you have, maybe you have a scholarship and then Empower is also taking care of the rest. But then there is a good chance that you'll be given the time to explain in detail everything about your finances, because this is one of the most important things. And your finances, the question is generally one question for you to say everything about your finances. So my point is that when you say Empower is funding your studies, if possible, add all the details that you can add, right? Just add everything, including the fact that the loan has an interest rate of this, and over the period of 2 years of my program, the total interest will be this, and I have $10,000 in my savings, which will be more than enough to pay off all the interest. Upon completion of my program, I will end my I will return to my home country to take up a position as maybe data analytics or some analyst or something, and then that job currently pays an average salary of maybe $50,000. And so with that income, I'll be able to uh, uh, channel maybe 50% of that towards paying off the principal. And within 5 years or within 10 years, I'll be done paying the principal. Something like that. Like when you are giving figures like that, it means you just didn't go for the loan, but also you did your calculation to know how much you should be paying over the period to be able to pay off the principal and the interest and all of that. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, so that's what I can tell you. Okay, but I mean, I think you are able to express yourself very well. That is one of the things which really matter when it comes to the visa interview. Being able
Yeah.
to express yourself very well, being able to, say why you need something. All those things help like so much. Okay, so I think
Okay.
you should be fine. You should like everything looks good for you. So I wish you the best. Okay,
Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. Okay, this person is saying body language is important. So the thing is that when this mock that I do is not for people that I have charged. So this one is more like free service that I'm providing. And so the most important thing is for me to hear their answers, and then whatever I can suggest, then I do so. But when it comes to body language, like from her voice, from anybody's voice, I can tell if the person knows what he or she needs from the program, or why the person wants to pursue the program, and the plans and all that. Like I can tell if the person is confident and all of that. We can all do that, But the only thing is, and also when you are talking to somebody on camera, it's difficult to see if the person is actually looking straight at you and all of that, so all these things are there. But yeah, in my one-on-one coaching sessions, yeah, that one it's different, because that one, um you can, it's more like video and you can see the person, because there's nothing to worry about in terms of privacy, but this one, people are worried about privacy, so that's how it is. And there is nothing wrong with people not showing their faces, So I think it's fine. I don't really see anything wrong with that. Okay. All right, Gloria, are you ready? Hello, Gloria, are you there? Hello, Gloria. Gloria, I can see your camera, so let me know if you are there. All right, I guess I will just use the opportunity to answer some questions. I think I've missed a lot of them, so let's see. Okay, Danso says, please can you interview me? Well, if you are part of my Telegram page, you get a chance to be interviewed by me, just like we've done here. Okay, but if you want me to coach you, personally, then that one there is a fee for that. Yeah, that one, yeah. I get to teach you how to prepare the answers, and then when you finish preparing the answers, you send it to me. I'll go through. If I have to make some changes, then I'll do that, and then I'll send it back to you, and then you start practicing it. After practicing it, we do a few mock, maybe like 2 or 3 mock sessions to see how well you express the answers that you've submitted and whether you've missed something important, and all of that. So that's how the coaching goes. That says, can you share the meeting link in the comments? Well, this link was reserved for only those who I selected to be interviewed. Okay, so it's not for everybody. I wish they all join 10 minutes before time so that I'll set out everything before I even go live. That is how the software is supposed to be used. Like, everybody has to join quickly, and then kind of see everybody's camera, make sure the audio, the video, everything is working before you actually go live. But yeah, I think they also have challenges trying to join, and it's not straightforward like that too. So yeah. Cheesy says, please, I have a deficit of 37K for my F1 visa interview. What's the chance of my visa being approved? Well, if you have a deficit of 37K, it depends on who is sponsoring you. Okay, that makes a big difference. It also depends on how much scholarship you got. Okay. Okay. What else? Magzai says, sir, is using hand gestures as surplus during the interview. So we are all different people, and there are people who communicate differently. Some people like to use their hands a lot more. So you can use your hands, but make sure they are not too high. Just minimize it. I will not say don't use your hand at all, because there are some people, they express themselves well when they use their hands, and everybody understands that people are different, and the visa officers, they are trained to give room to all of these things. Like, people should be themselves, just that don't make it too high to make you look like like you are crazy or something. But yeah, you can use your hand, but just lower it a little bit. Salifu says, please, what's the Telegram link? The Telegram link is in the description of every video that I post, even including this one. Okay. You said the link is not on the Telegram page. What do you mean by the link? If you don't find it here, you should find it in any of my other videos. Okay, the link should be there. Let me see TikTok. There are a lot of video questions there possibly. Let me check that one out as well. Yeah. So yeah, the fact that the person I was interviewing wasn't clear and wasn't heard, all of these things. Yeah, I think I see those comments. Maxwell says, hello, can you coach me? I applied in the University of Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. A lot of people are going to this university, actually. Yeah, I mean, the coaching instructions are very clear. Once you join my YouTube channel, you see all the links. Okay. Felicia, thank you for following. Kamel, hello brother. I have a question. I said in my DX1C form that I'm jobless. Will it cost me? Well, if I'll be honest with you, it's always not a good idea to go for the interview without a job. Okay, because if you don't have a job in your home country, it's like when you go to the US, you're not likely to come back, because in your country you don't get a job. So why would the visa officer believe that when you go, you come back? So sometimes people do volunteer work and all of that. Okay. What happens when you work off campus after vacation? It is illegal to do so. Okay, Beckham, you can't do that. It is illegal to do so. Nabuala says we can't hear Sharon either. Yeah, Nabuala. The no sound. Yeah, that was a big deal here. Jessica says, how can I participate? Yeah, once you join my Telegram page, you can easily get a chance to be interviewed. Okay. Jasmine says, hello, how do I get you for mock or coaching? Yeah, you find the links in the description of my videos on YouTube. Okay. The Emperor says, what of someone who is interested in mock? Yeah, I've said this many times. If you followed me, thank you. Adjoa shared the live. Adjoa, thank you. Okay. Zainab says, please, can you talk about employer sponsoring your graduate studies? Yeah, Zainab, I have at least 2 videos of people. Okay, one of them, no, both of them actually. Both of them, I coached them when they were preparing for their visa interviews, and they were sponsored by their employers. Okay, so you can check out that video and see how their visa interview went. The video is on my YouTube channel. Okay, all right. Let's go back to YouTube and see. Max I says a deficit of 9K and your uncle is sponsoring you. So if you have a deficit of 9K and then you don't have any scholarship at all, the visa officer is thinking, why will your uncle spend 19K on you every year? That kind of thing. Because the reality is that the visa officers are aware that people use fake bank statements all the time. So how sure is a visa officer that you're actually presenting an uncle? That's the challenge. So but if you have a good scholarship, let's say 50% scholarship, and your uncle is sponsoring you, it's very easy for you to justify yourself, because the visa officer will think, okay, fine, if you have more than 50%, then that money will actually take care of all your tuition, and so the living expenses, maybe it won't be that bad like that. You can even manage your expenses and all of that, because the reality is that the amount you see on the I-20 is, in my opinion, overestimated. Is too high if you're an international student, because if you're an international student, you are not likely to spend that much in terms of your accommodation, your books, and all these things. You are not going to spend so much on all of those things. The most important thing is the tuition, is the tuition, because the living expenses, that money is way inflated. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Comba says, my brother, I am going for an MBA this fall at the University of Missouri. Can you help me with a question? Why the MBA? MBA visa approval rate is relatively very low lately. Can you provide a guide for interview? So the reason why MBA programs have a low visa approval rate is because MBA programs don't always come with a good funding. Most of the time you get like maybe 20% funding or 10% or even no funding at all. So it's very difficult to be approved if you are using an MBA. And the reason why MBA programs also don't offer funding is also because of the fact that MBA programs are considered professional programs, and so schools don't really see the need to give you funding most of the time. So that's the challenge. But if you can present a good sponsor, if you can present a good financial statement to take care of your studies, you are likely to be approved. It's all about who is sponsoring you and also whether you have a scholarship or not. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And the question regarding why MBA, sometimes if people ask me questions like this, I want to question why they actually want to come here, because if you have sat down and applied to a program and you don't know why you applied to the program, how am I supposed to, I am an economic student, how am I supposed to know why you want to pursue an MBA? I can't do that. It doesn't even make sense. You are actually better positioned to answer this question than me. So on my channel, what I do is I coach people, and so when I coach somebody who is from an MBA background, I can tell the person this how to prepare your answer, this how to do it, and all of that. So once the person prepares the answers, then I know, okay, an MBA program, this is a good answer, this is a good, that. So that's how it works. Okay. Magzai says, my uncle is a renowned lawyer known in the Gambia. Yeah, that's the challenge. How sure is a visa officer that you're actually presenting a real uncle? Because people present fake uncles all the time. So it's up to you to be able to prove that. And sometimes the way the visa officer can tell if you're lying or not is to ask you a follow-up question. And if the visa officer asks you a follow-up question and you have to think about it, then it's probably because you are trying to think of a lie. But if you are asked and then you can give an answer immediately, then it means you're likely telling the truth, and so then the visa officer can actually approve your visa. Okay. Max I says I got a scholarship of 3K. A scholarship of 3K is not significant. Don't even mention it at all. I mean, of course, it will be on your I-20, but when you are explaining your finances, there is no point mentioning it. Sunday says, is it good to sponsor yourself, and what are the things to put in place? Well, I mean, if you have, let's say, a scholarship of, let's say, 15,000, then you have personal savings of 15,000, and your program is 2 years. My question is, who will be taking care of the second year, given that you are sponsoring yourself? So I always like to say that if you have the money, at least have someone as well sponsoring you, just in case. Okay, just in case the cost of living goes up or something happens and all of that. It's always a good idea. Unless you are sponsoring yourself from a business, then the business can be generating money, and then that one can make sense. You have people taking care of that. Or like if you have a wife, or a husband, and yeah, then those ones can help. But just you on your own, single person, I think it's probably not a good idea to say you are sponsoring yourself, unless you have a good scholarship. If you have a good scholarship and you are sponsoring yourself, I think that works. Okay. Boy says, Shai, when you make changes to your original DX1C form and you update the new code to your CGI portal, they are able to access the old one. Once once you've made that change, they are not going to see the old one. I don't think so. I don't think they can see that one. I don't think they won't see that. Okay, so just feel free, and I whenever anytime I apply for the visa, I only sat down and then filled out the DX1C form once and for all. I didn't have to do back and forth, and I didn't have to delay. Like if my appointment is, let's say, in 2 months, I'll just fill it out, just sit down and fill it out, and then I'm fine. But I think I mean, I know people recommend waiting until maybe 3 days before your interview, before 3 business days before your interview, before you submit it and all of that. But I mean, I feel like if you know what you are doing, you are clear on what you are doing, you can even start it today and submit it today without even worrying about it and all of that. But I mean, I understand that as well. Okay. So yeah, but I don't think it will affect you. Okay. The visa officers, when they pull up your information, they are fed with so much information, and I mean, they don't have time to compare. Even if they can even get they don't have access to the old DX1C format. Even if they did, like, they don't have that kind of time to compare the two, side by side. I don't think that is even something that they would do. Okay. Brianna says, how can I change a sponsor at the last moment? Well, for me, my thing is that it doesn't matter the sponsor on your I-20, but then the sponsor on your DX160 and the one you say at the interview, you present at the interview, I think those ones, they should match. That is more important. If the three are all different, then it's like there is a problem. But it doesn't matter what is on the I-20, because I-20s are issued sometimes way, like, several months before you even go for the interview. So a lot of things can change within that period. So there's nothing wrong with who is on the I-20, even though you should always have a reason when they ask you why is this person, which is not really difficult to give, a reason why you haven't, because maybe this uncle wanted to sponsor you. Now you have your parents say they want to sponsor you, or maybe you didn't have any scholarship from the school. Now the school is 2 months to your interview, or like 2 weeks to your interview, the school sent you an offer or something. Like, all these things have possibilities. So yeah, there's nothing wrong. Just make sure the one on the DX1C and then the one that you present are the same. And also, I tell students that if you are presenting your dad,
then you should be living in the same address with your dad. If you guys live at different places, then it's like, are you sure? Are you sure the person is your dad? And some people will present, like a stepdad, and then they'll be like, oh, he's my stepdad. If you don't share the same surname with somebody, how is he actually, your dad? Anybody can pick anybody and say this person is my stepdad. So those challenges are there, and for you to go around those challenges and not be questioned in terms of who you are presenting, a good idea is always to try to get scholarship, a good scholarship. If you have like 70% scholarship and then you are being sponsored by your uncle or your auntie, you don't have any problem, in my opinion. But if you have like 10% scholarship and your uncle is sponsoring you, the visa officer is thinking, how can your uncle neglect, his other responsibilities, or decide to spend, let's say, $100,000 on you, like over a period of, I don't know, 2 years or 4 years. Like, I mean, if you think about it very well, it doesn't even make a lot of sense. So that's how the visa officer is thinking. That's why getting a scholarship is always important. Okay. Magda says, I suppose you asked why this school? Can you go and tell them the school's research interests, the skills you be gaining, and how those skills will help your home country? Is that fine? So a good way to answer why this school is to think about the program. You don't go to a school because of the school. You go to a school because of the program. Okay, the program is why you're going. So you can start by talking about the general picture, which is the school, something about the school. Maybe the school is highly, I don't know, has some famous professors or something. Whatever it is, maybe the school provides students with research opportunities. Whatever it is, you can start with that, but always narrow it down to your program, because it's always about your program. You are going to the US because of the program. You're not going to the US because of US. No, you are going to US because of the program. So every answer has to always be tied to the program itself. Okay, that is what we call being specific. Okay. All right. I have Esther here, and Esther. Hold on, let me see if I can add Esther. Yeah, Esther, are you here? Okay. Okay. Good evening. I was about to go off actually, but let's see. Let me spend a few minutes chatting with you. Okay. So Esther, are you ready? Okay, give me a second. Let me take care of it. So Esther, you're going to Western Illinois University. Is that correct? Why did you choose Western Illinois University? Okay, and how did you hear about the school? What is your current job? What is your current job? What do you do at the moment?
You don't have any scholarship. How are you going to sponsor yourself? Your uncle runs what? He runs what? Okay. Have you traveled outside your home country before? Do you know anyone in the US? Okay. Tell me about your program. If you are given if you are given the opportunity, will you work off campus? Did you apply to other countries? Hold on, Esther, hold on. The same issue again. I think no one heard you. Everything that we've said so far is I don't know why the default is always this, and I have to change it all the time. All right, they can hear you now. I guess we'll have to start all over again. Man. All right, so it's all good. So, what is the purpose of your trip?
So the purpose of my trip, I'm going to US for my biology program at Western University, where I'm focusing on medical microbiology. So based on my experiences from undergraduate research and the current place of work at the biomedical laboratory, I've discovered there is a lot of distortion, alteration of the microflora of the human body, leading to so much hormonal imbalance. So this alteration could actually be caused by excess intake of antibiotics or other natural factors. So as part of my research, I want to identify what these hormonal imbalances are and also the best way I can use to stabilize this microflora to its normal and
Okay. Um, yeah, I had a technical challenge, so I had to fix it. But I think it should work now. I think they should hear you now. Okay.
But you can hear her.
You can hear you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, I don't know what I even asked you. Anyways, so why do you want to study biology?
so currently I work with Chidivine Biomedical Laboratory as a microbiologist in one of the laboratory, which my uncle is the CEO of the laboratory. So and also have a bachelor's in science and microbiology. So upon my graduation, my uncle is considering scaling up the operation in the laboratory. So upon my graduation, I'll be returning back to my current place of work to take up a more supervisory role in the laboratory.
Okay. And how did you hear about the program?
So about the program, I got to know about the program while searching for universities that best suits my my programs and interests. So I found Western Honorary Illinois University to offer give me the best approach because it offers a multidisciplinary approach in their program. So aside studying microbiology at Western University, the biology program also gives me room to study both botany, zoology, environmental sciences, biological sciences, and this will actually help me apply my microbiology skills to both plants, animals, and environments.
And why the US?
So I chose US because of the uninterrupted um, academic curriculum, and also doing my research in the US will give me the opportunity to meet other researchers, share opportunities and good equipment for my research.
Okay. And what is your current job?
Currently, I work with Chi Divine Biomedical Laboratory as a lab assistant in the microbiology department, where my uncle is actually the CEO of the company. So, as part of my role, I run tests like urine test analysis, microscopy, culture, and then sensitivity. So, there are some pathogenic organisms like Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus aureus that cause urinary tract infection in the human body. This actually affects the human from his urination. So, a sample, a urine sample is collected from the patient,
How
and the
many
test
schools
is
did you
being
apply to?
applied to three schools. Applied to Northern Colorado University. Applied to Liberty University in Virginia, and as well I applied to Western Illinois University. I actually got admitted to Liberty University and as well as Western Illinois University, but I chose Western Illinois University over Liberty University because of its multidisciplinary approach in the program. So aside studying microbiology, the biology program at Western University gives me that opportunity and a diverse approach to not just study microbiology, but also other courses like botany, zoology, environmental sciences, biological sciences. So this will actually help me apply my microbiology skills to both plants, animals, and
Okay.
environments.
You don't have any funding. How do you plan to finance your studies?
So my funding, I'll be funded. My fees will be taken care of by my uncle, Brand Stanley Kitchko. He's the CEO of Chi Divine Biomedical Laboratory located in eastern part of Nigeria, where I currently work as a lab assistant in one of the laboratories. He has a staff strength of 15. So this is one of the reasons why he has decided to scale up the operations, and he's sending me for my master's in microbiology so that I can return to take up a more supervisory role in the laboratory. Also, my uncle is into agro-ally industry where he specializes on the manufacture and distribution of fertilizers to large and medium scale farmers. He has a staff strength of 20 and a gross annual income of 290 million naira.
Have you traveled outside Nigeria before?
No, I've not traveled out of Nigeria. I've not had the reasons for that until now.
Do you have any relative in the US?
No, I don't have any relative in the US.
Okay. Um. So, my comments is mainly about your finances. I mean, you obviously know you know a lot about biology and all of that, and you currently work as a medical laboratory assistant or something, and all of these things help with your background. You know, like they all give you a reason to want to study this program. Okay, so those ones are fine. My only issue is your finances. If your uncle wants you to return to work in his company, why isn't he sponsoring you with his company finances? You know. So what I'm trying to say is that when you present an uncle as your sponsor, it's always difficult because how sure will the visa officer be um uh in terms of you presenting a credible, like a real uncle? What if you got a bank statement elsewhere? So that is a question that the visa officer will be asking. Like, how credible is the bank statement, or how credible is the one you are presenting as your sponsor? But I feel like if you are currently working in that company and you clearly have, like, you clearly know why you want to get a degree and then come back, and the company actually values your talent, and the company thinks if you go and learn certain skills and you return, you can contribute to the company and all of these things. Why then does your uncle why then is your uncle sponsoring you with his statement when he can use his company, so that it will be more like the company is sponsoring you, so that you, when you finish your program, you return to the company and work there? I think that makes more sense to me than presenting your uncle as your sponsor, because I think that can be very difficult, in my opinion. Especially given the fact they don't have any scholarship at all. That's just what I am thinking. I feel like using a company's bank statement, a company that you work for, okay, and you are clear on what you do for the company and exactly the gaps in terms of what the company does and what the company hopes to do. Like if you are clear on that, and then I feel like, and if the company is sponsoring you to go and learn all those skills and come back and help the company, I think that makes more sense to me. It's just me, suggesting something to you, but you can think about that. Okay. Also, when I asked you why do you want to study the program, you didn't tell me exactly what you are going to learn. You told me about the gaps, the challenges, and all of those things, but you didn't tell me exactly the things you hope to learn from the program. So at the end of the program, you didn't tell me what you would have learned compared to what you know now. I wish I had something like that. Does that make sense?
Okay, I said something that, like, that about the microflora of the human body that have been altered, that I want
Okay.
to identify what the imbalances are, and also how to stabilize the microflora to its natural states.
Okay. Then I missed that. Okay, then that makes sense. Okay, cool. So yeah, so right now, I mean, I feel like you have a good reason to study the program. You sound well. You are like, you know what you are doing. The only thing is your finances. How to convince the visa officer that your uncle, he's sponsoring you with his personal statement. Just like that. For 2 years, it's kind of difficult to accept, and also especially given the recent trends where if you don't have any scholarship at all and you are being sponsored by your uncle or somebody other than your parents, it's like it's very difficult. So that is what I can tell you. Okay, if there is a way you can work on your finances, I think, because yeah, you work in the company and all these things, it still makes sense, but an individual bank statement to sponsor you to come to a company, feel like it's difficult to accept. So that's what I can say. Okay.
Yeah. So the bank statement that the school that I used to get the I-20 is actually the agro ally bank statement, not really the medical, the bank statement. Okay.
What is the difference? I don't know the difference between what you just said. Between So what is the name of the company you currently work?
She Divine Biomedical Laboratory, but
Eh,
then the agro ally industry,
mm,
PS Sangotex Sangotex um, enterprise. So that was the one I submitted to get the I-20. But so if I'm still going to the for my visa interview in July and on 12th, so I'm still going with the one I submitted to the school.
um, I don't know which one. I like. So my point is, it's better in your case, since you are currently working for the company. You want to come back and work for the company. Being sponsored by the company is better than being sponsored by the CEO of the company, because if you present the CEO, it's an individual who is not your father, so then that is difficult to be accepted, in my opinion. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so I wish you the best. Okay, but I mean, you sound well, and you know what you want and all of that. Okay.
All right,
um
thank you.
yeah, no problem. So this is where we will end it. Ernest. Yeah, I mean, all you had, I sent you the link, so all you had to do was click on the link, and then once you click on it, I'll be able to add you. But right now we've already streamed for over 1.5 hours, so yeah, I wish you the best. Okay, Ernest, if you have any question, you can ask me. But the live, I think right now I actually feel tired. Rich says, how do I connect to your one-on-one mock? Yeah, you would have to check the links in the description of my YouTube videos. Okay. Abeka, they also said the same thing. How can I join your mock staff? So if you want to join just the mock, so there are two. Okay, one is one-on-one coaching where I coach you. That one, there is a fee, and the link is in the description of any of my YouTube videos. But then for this kind of mock, I give people in my Telegram group the opportunity to be interviewed by me every week. So every week I select maybe 3 people or 4 people to interview. Okay, so it depends on which one you want, but the links are always in the description of my YouTube videos. So whichever one you want, you can choose that. All right, guys, I'm really grateful for your time, and yeah, I wish you the best, and I'll see you again. Okay, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. All right.
Hi, welcome to my first video. My name is Shaibu. The goal of this channel is first to help students get admission and funding into schools abroad. Secondly, to help students get their visas approved. And finally, to help students navigate through life in a foreign country. If any of these interests you, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I intend to post 2 long videos every week. I have been living in the US for the past 8 years, helping so many students with their study abroad journey. I have never been denied a visa. In fact, I got the first visa approved in 2016 for my first master's degree in the US. And then I went for the visa interview again for the renewal in 2019. This was during my second master's degree. In 2022, I used the visa waiver option to get my visa approved without leaving the US. I've coached so many students get their visas approved since 2017. So if you are preparing for your visa interview, I can confidently